all it's going, but you should start to see things pop up where you can chat into the room and ask questions. I'm going to roll through some of the shows that we have this year. Actually, we kind of had planned for the Boston County Festival to start April 1st, April Fools. But we got an opportunity to book this guy with the City Winery, Brooks Wheelan, who's really funny. And so we're going to have, that'll be the official first show of the Boston Comedy Festival. You've seen him on Conan, and he's New York Comedy Festival. He was one of Comedy Central's top 10 comics to watch. So he's been at Just for Laughs. He's got all the right credits. And that's a Monday night show. I mean, a Monday night show with an act of that level. So usually comedy, we live or die on Saturday night. But at the Boston Comedy Festival, we're going to have shows every single night, especially it's going to launch on April Fools this year with our contest prelims. They're going to both take place at the Boston City Winery, which is a great place to bring a date, good food, good environment, and we got a killer lineup of acts that you can check out. Let me see if I can get the performers up. Oh, this is no particular order. Okay, if you go to the site, it'll have everybody on there, and if you're on the show and you're watching, feel free to chime in.
Jim, it's on the screen behind you.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you can see we got Billy Gardell and we got Ryan Hamilton. Those are going to be at the finals at the Somerville Theater, and Billy, from Mike and Molly, and he's got all kinds of different sitcoms and stuff going that he's been doing. He's doing one currently. We're so lucky to get Billy. He's like, I work with him at the Ice House. He probably doesn't remember this, but I do. 10 years ago, and he was a monster truck back then. So we're really lucky to get Billy Gardell to come out and get our Lifetime Achievement Award. He certainly earned it. And Ryan Hamilton was a winner of the Boston Comedy Festival. And he's funny, clean, hilarious. Yeah, there you go, Ryan Hamilton. So if the this whole festival builds to the finals, which is at the Somerville Theater, but we have prelims with all the different venues. We've got prelims at the City Winery, at the Rockwell Theater in Somerville, at the Comedy Studio in Cambridge, Harvard Square. They're happening all over town and all week long. So you definitely need to go to bostoncountyfestival.com and see what's near you and shop it. There's comedy for everybody this year. So if you want to do something, the Boston County Festival is the place to do it. Yeah, so I'm waiting for some people to chat in, but I'll just start kind of burning through these shows we're doing. So on prelim 1 is the opening, 8 o'clock Tuesday. It's going to be at the City Comedy Studio, which I haven't been to the Comedy Studio yet. The Comedy Studio's got a legendary reputation in Harvard Square. Started out with Rick Jenkins and other folks, and I think he's got some famous benefactors over there. I think Eugene Merman and Gary Gallman and Brian Longwell and a bunch of people have all are helping to keep that place up and running. It's been a great showcase for comedians for many years, and we're very excited to be. We're doing several shows with them this year in Harvard Square, and I think the opening night, if you're a comedian listening to this or watching this, we're not only doing prelims there, but the first night, every night we're going to have for the comedians, we're going to have a different party and a place where you can, mix it up, talk, network with other comedians, with managers, agents. We got a lot more industry coming this year. We got agencies. We're partnering with the Eric Lampert and APCA, which is one of the largest, if not the largest, college entertainment convention company. And he brings a lot of weight and a lot of credibility to this year's festival because he's also bringing in student activity administrators, college agents, and we're gonna have all kind of, once again, a friend of the festival, Les McCurdy, is coming up, and we got several all kinds of club bookers from not only the Boston area but from New York and Florida, and we're still putting that all up now together. But this is gonna be a great year to be part of the festival or just go seeing your favorite act. You know, if you saw Ryan Hamilton, 20 years ago, he was in the contest. Now he's getting a Comedian of the Year award. He's done all kinds of late night TV, and he's one of the hottest acts in the country. When he comes into Boston, he generally sells out the Wilbur Theater, which is 1,400 seats. So, you know, if you, our first show, we're starting. Al Park is a past winner. Dan Crone was a finalist, and Dan Crone's done Mark Maron's podcast and all kinds of things. He's a headliner in Boston. There's both these guys headline clubs all around New England, and then you can go to the City Winery. We're doing the podcast 2 and 3. Kelly McFarland was a semifinalist. Kelly McFarland's one of the most sought after female comedians in the country. Kelly's when she came and she was I remember she was a finalist, and many people thought was in very so close you couldn't even tell she could have been the winner of the year that she was in the contest. And she out of that she got a TV show where they flew her out to Florida, and she was um, doing an episode of a show out there right out of the Boston Comedy Festival. Okay, so okay, here's another one. You go to prelim 5. You got Robbie Prince was a winner of the Boston Comedy Festival. Robbie Prince was Princess Cruise Line's Comedian of the Year a couple years ago. He works nonstop. He was one of the top college comedy acts for, I'm going to say, 8 to 10 years, and then he transitioned into cruise ship work. He makes a living. His son is now coming up. He makes a very good living cruising around the globe in sunny places, drinking boat drinks, while the rest of us up here shoveling snow. You know what I mean? So, not a bad way to make a living if you have to.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah. Here's a show the Comedy Studio is doing. It's a Rising Stars, so that's gonna every night at the studio during the festival they're going to be showcasing people. Some of these acts are in the contest, or they're hosting or closing the contest. We get closers opening and closing every night to ensure a rock solid show and everything else. But they're also going to be doubling up. Some of these guys come, say you come in from Nashville and you're a great act and you're in the contest. Helen, who is my sister, but really does all the work at the Boston Festival. Everything happens because of her. We couldn't do it without her. And she's trying to make sure people get a second bite of the apple if they can. So that you might do a show on April 1, and then April 3, you might get a second show or showcase at the Comedy Studio. Okay, so there's a lot of different things happening, a lot of different places to see people. Andrew Mayer is going to be on Wednesday. He's another contest prelim, another finalist. Amazing, funny. Nikki Luparelli, you got to see her. She's a one of a kind. She's a kind of almost a cabaret. I don't know that she would mind me saying she's a cabaret act. She's really very, very cool act to see. And if you get a chance in the festival or out of the festival, you should check out Nikki Luparelli whenever you get a chance. But she'll be on April 2nd. She'll be at, where is she? She's at the winery. Okay. Here's a friend of mine. I hope she might call in today. Rhonda Corey. This is a different show for the Boston Comedy Festival. This is a clean comedy show. Rhonda does not only clean comedy, but she does, talking churches clean. So that whole lineup. I met Junebug Colson is coming up from she's a Southern Belle, and she's a Christian comedian. She's very funny. Mike Murray's coming up from Rhode Island. So if you want clean comedy, your language is an issue, we got a show for you. The Funny Comedy Tour, Clean Comedy Show. And that's at the Rockwell Theater on April 3rd, 7 p.m. Check it out. And all these buttons you can hit. Now, here's a guy I can't wait to see. Semifinal round 1, we're kicking off the semifinals with the guy Trix. Now Trix won the Boston Comedy Festival COVID year. And guess what happened? I got COVID that year. The first day of the festival, I got chills. And I said to Helen, I got chills and I'm a little bit, she goes, get out of here, go home, which I did. I ran out the back alleyway so I didn't get anybody sick. And for the rest of the week, Helen had to run the whole Boston Comedy Festival on her own. That's the year we had Orny Adams was Comedian of the Year. Trix won the whole contest, and everyone raved about Trix. Trix is headlining clubs all over the country, and we were so lucky to get him in on April 3rd. He's going to be at the City Winery.
I hope he did something nice for Helen.
We don't. It's like if you have somebody in your company and their family, they never get what they deserve, because it's your sister. You're like, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Do you do that? And we could never afford her if we had to pay her what she's worth. The festival would be over. We'd be packing things in boxes right now. Because she's amazing. And also, Jody Sloan's on that show with Trix. So that's a good one. Jody's headlining clubs all over New England.
Jody's amazing.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's amazing. So those two people, if you got those two people on a show alone, forget about the contest. Right. If you just got those two people on a show,
absolutely.
Bang, that's a home run. That's money well spent and an evening well spent. Not to mention all the people that are coming in, not only from Boston, but all over the country.
All over.
So I wish I could go to some of these shows. I'm flipping through the thing on my laptop here, and the next thing I see is Eddie Pepitone. Eddie Pepitone's a legend. Eddie Pepitone's going to be at the City Winery Thursday, April 3rd. So I mean, he's a great actor. I mean, he's among comedians. They all love Eddie Pepitone.
Yep.
Do you have a question?
Comedian of comedians.
Yeah. He's it, man. He's it. So another great act we got on Thursday the 3rd. Trix is going to headline another show, still at the City Winery, 9:30 to 11, and Kathy Ferris is going to host it. Kathy Ferris,
incredible as well.
Incredible act. Very, very funny. Very eclectic. I just worked with her last month at the Hyatt in Cambridge. We had a big show for Valentine's Day, and she was amazing, and she is amazing. So that again, Kathy Ferris, Trix, money well spent. This one we're working on, the Spotlight series, that's going to be co-produced by the APCA. That's the pet people, isn't it?
MSPCA.
Yeah. No, it's not them. It's the college people. That's hilarious. People be showing up with their cats and dogs.
Is this where we get paid?
Yeah. So this shows, if you go to the site, it's a little bit on the work still because there's going to be a lot of college bookers, student activity administrators, agents, and that's going to be a very diverse, exciting show to go to because people are going to be getting work out of that one. People are going to be filling their books with college work, which is not for me. I'm not the guy for colleges. I'm the guy that ends comedy for colleges. So I'm on the other end of the spectrum. But that's a show that's worth going. I mean, to see, just to be part of that.
Colleges are a big market.
Oh yeah. All right. I'm just kind of scrolling through the thing here tonight. We got music, and we got money for nothing.
We can't have too much.
And
of
your
that.
Comedy for free, unfortunately, too often.
They'll tap us with a copyright infringement if we have too much music.
We got Mike Costa, Emmy-winning co-host, senior correspondent for The Daily Show.
Oh, wow.
We got him at the City Winery on Friday, April 4th.
That's awesome.
So if you don't want to go to the college, diversity show in Somerville at the Rockwell Theater, go see this show. See a guy who's hilarious. He's a correspondent for The Daily Show, Michael Costa.
That's awesome.
Right?
Yeah, he's great on that show, too.
Here's a couple of guys I love. Corey Manning and Sean Sullivan. Two very, very, very funny. Both of those guys, I think, have been in the hunt at the festival, but maybe semi-finalists or finalists. And I know that Sean is a finalist a couple times over, and they're both working full time doing comedy. They're both making the noise. It's a great place to Go, and that's on Friday. So you could actually go, to one show and then another show. You could go to a couple of shows and pick through the whole festival, and you're going to see some people you like that might not normally be here, or support people that you like that are already here. And this one I can't. This is another one. A good friend of mine and a, a friend of the festival, and one of the best, if not the best, joke writer in America, Emo Phillips. Emo Phillips is going to be at the Rockwell Theater on Saturday uh, at 7 o'clock, and I, the tickets are already going on this. I think this shows it's only 200 seats. It's going to sell out, and I would assume if we're lucky, we'll add a second show. But I think this first show is going to sell out weeks, anytime now. So Emo Phillips is, if you haven't seen him and you want to see great joke writing and like a legendary comedian, you want to go Saturday to the Rockwell Theater and see Emo Phillips. I shouldn't even hard sell that. I shouldn't even be talking about it because that's going to sell out anyway. I got other shows we got to move, but that's one that, if you haven't seen him, I got to see a Buster Keaton movie with him 10 years back at the festival. We had a Buster Keaton movie at the Somerville Theater, and I was cleaning up the Rockwell Theater. The day after the Sunday, nobody wants to be, no, you can't find anybody to help you.
Ghosted.
So I'm taking out garbage. I'm sweeping the floor alone. The glamour's over, and I get a call from Emo, and this is a bad Emo. Jim, I noticed you had a Buster Keaton movie at the Somerville Theater. I was thinking of going. Would you perchance want to go and see the movie with me? And I was like, I threw the broom down. I'm like, yes, I would.
There you go. I'll clean that up on Monday.
Yeah, I'll pay the security deposit or whatever someone else can take. I ended up going over after the movie, but it was just and he's like a student of comedy. He's just amazing.
Well,
all right, here's the thing. I'm going to talk about this a little more in the future, a little more in depth. But we're pretty proud of this. We're doing a benefit to give back to comedians who are victims and displaced or put in hardship by the LA fires. And we're working with a non-for-profit company that works raising money to help comedians that need help. It's Comedy Gives Back. And we got such a killer show. We got Karen Morgan, who's been on she has I think 2 Dry Bar specials. She's been on CBS, but she's selling out theaters around the country right now. Karen's amazing. Paul D'Angelo, forget about it. Boston comedy legend. I don't know what I've got over Paul's head where he keeps agreeing to do these things for me, but he owes me nothing. He's been so good to me, and he is very, very well known in Boston. Paul D'Angelo is a monster comedian. And then you go down this line, Dan Bolger won the Boston Comedy Festival. He's been on Comedy Central, BBC, Don't Tell Comedy, Late Show. I think he's had 2 appearances on that. And he's one of the acts that everybody's always like, you got to, if you haven't seen Danny Bolger, you haven't been to Boston. You got to go see Danny. And Erin McGuire is on that show. And if I was going to be a manager of comedians, I would be on her doorstep. Erin McGuire is funny. She does it all. She's like a triple threat. She can act. She's improvisationally funny. She's written funny. She's in New York. I mean, she was one of the ones like during COVID that was doing comedy in the park. She's, I say that because she's got that drive, and she's, all these people are people that you may, they're you should be watching them because they're must see comedians. Okay. And the next guy is Jim McCue. I think we all know how he got on the show. And surprise guests. I think we're probably going to get some big name acts that are going to want to be on that show. But we can't afford to pay them or tell you they're going to be there. So that's, we're trying to get all the money from this is going to help comedians that are in LA there's a lot of people. Just imagine, the whole, so much of that city burned down, and I don't know if there's 50,000 or 80,000 people that are added to the homeless, lost their homes. And so if you're just a renter and you didn't own, I mean, but you lost your place where you're living. You need help, and this is comedians helping comedians. So it's really a good cause. I neglected to mention Bethany Van Delft. I apologize for that. She's hosting the whole thing, and she hosts the Moth, Top 10 News, Boston Calling, always a big festival in town, calls on Bethany Van Delft. She was voted best comic by Boston Magazine. A magazine was something that we used to read back in the 1900s. It was a publication made out of paper, but I'm just kidding. So yeah, I think the Dig Boston gave her Comedian of the Year, Boston Globe. She's very well respected and very funny, and you can see her in the center of the picture there. If you look, that's Bethany right there, and she's awesome. So I saved the best for last, maybe. Now the rest of the comedians will best for last. What about me?
They're all the best.
They're all the best. I saved the best for all of it. All right. And yeah, proceeds. It says proceeds, but I think it's all the proceeds are going to Comedy Gives Back Fire Fund. Crucial support for comedians affected by the devastating fires. So yeah, look, get a ticket to this show. It's on Saturday. It's on April 5th. It's at the Berkeley Performance Center. We had our finals at the Berkeley Performance Center. It's an awesome place to see comedy. It's an awesome place to do comedy. So you want to make plans and do something good and help people. Buy tickets to that Berkeley Performance Center. Okay. One of our big enchilada every year is the finals. Okay. I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but I'm going to mention it a lot. I'll be back. I'll probably be exclusive. That audience shot you just saw was from that's the bottom deck of the Somerville Theater, which is like a really perfect place to see comedy in Davis Square in Somerville. We always pack them in on this. This is going to sell out. Yeah, we had Jim Norton there one year, and kind of a funny story. He sold out, and the crowd was going nuts to see him. They were chanting his name, and I was the only guy there. I know Jim from when I lived down in New York, and so he says hi. He goes, "Hey, what do you got for security?" And I says, "What are you talking about? I don't have any security." He goes, "You need security." So I call Helen, who's at the Rockwell Theater, and she says, "I'll send my boyfriend down." This is the first time I met her now husband. I'm 6'6". He's 6'6" and 100 pounds heavier than me. He's a big dude. Oh, and I said, "Oh man, you're in the family, man." So he says, what do you need? I go, "Your security." So he says, "What are we gonna do?" I says, "I'm downstairs, and there's 400 people downstairs, and there's 500 people in the balcony." I said, "So you got 100 pounds on me. So you're going to secure the 500 people, and I'm going to secure the 400 people." He goes, "What happens if something, if there's a riot breaks out upstairs?" I go, "Just toss someone off the balcony, and I'll come running."
That'll stop it.
I don't know what I'm going to do, but at least there'll be only, 499 people, right? So he was jumped into the family after that because he was, purged with fire. So thank you, Dean. So yeah, this finals is going to be it's the 25th annual. People are going to pay attention to who wins this. We usually end up with eight people that have come through hundreds of people. If you count the submissions process, the prelims, the semis, and it really builds to this thing. And it's funny. We got $7,000 in prize money, but most of them just care about there's going to be a lot of industry at this show. There's going to be a lot. And there's going to be, the chance to share a stage. Tony V is hosting. Tony V is the best host in the country, I think, bar none. I put up against anybody. And then Ryan Hamilton is a monster, funny, clean comic, someone that is established himself, someone who sells out the Wilbur on his own. I would put Billy Gardell in that same exact category, somebody that could sell out one of the big theaters in the theater district. And, he's, I know Mike and Molly was a show that I used to watch that he was on, but he's also got, and I can't remember the name of this goes out there. He's got a sitcom running right now. That's huge. And he's a great guy. He's a great human being. And I just appreciate so much that he's honored that we're honoring him, but I'm honored that he's coming here to be honored because he's just, he's hilarious and he's a good guy. And he's a good guy this is a way for him to be honored, but it's also a way for him to support all of us comedians, so, and that goes for Ryan too. The show's going to run like a Swiss watch. For anyone under 40, watches are things we used to wear on our wrists before phones, and Swiss watches were the best thing you could get. And Tony V is going to run that show like a steamroller. Once it gets going, there's going to be no stopping. It's going to be laugh, laugh, laugh. So come out on Saturday, April 5, 8 o'clock, Somerville Theater. That one's going to sell out. I mean, everybody in Somerville knows about this show. We've been there a number of years. In Somerville and all the surrounding towns, they turn out to buy those tickets in Davis Square. So check it out. All right. I think I've like hard pitched this. Usually I banter off of other people, and when I just read things, it's just like you're hiring a bad reader. I feel like that's what we've accomplished. We have a guy who doesn't read well, babbling, and that's what we've accomplished here. But I'm probably missing a few shows here. Amy Miller is a great act. She's going to be at the Comedy Studio on the 5th. Look, Saturday night, you got plans in April. You're going to a comedy show. It just depends to you. What are you going to pick? You got a lot of choices there, and they're all at the Boston Comedy Festival. Go to bostoncomedyfestival.com, pick your show, and you won't be sorry. You're going to have fun, and you're going to be part of history. 25 years of comedy. And we got shows all over town. So go to bostoncomedyfestival.com. I think that's it.
All right. Great information.
Nice. I think we're still running. All right. I'm going to share my feelings until this thing runs out. First, I feel like I should have wore a hat. Second, while looking at the monitor, I'm balder than I remember being. Third, I have a slight sinus headache. Fourth, I'm going to order a large pizza after this and weep quietly in my car. Fifth, I need to get a new list of things to do. All right.